Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom. The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican parade service Latino. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Literally not true. Is that correct?
Wow, what a day, what a day. Oh my goodness. Let's see if everything works. Pray the camera turns on, ready? Boom. Hey, it's working-ish. It's sort of, I'm sort of there. Maybe. Sort of. All right. Welcome to Monday, and what a Monday it is. Oh my goodness. I've been frantically, I've got like an echo. You guys hear that? Now you can't. Okay, well, I can't. That's better. You can, but I can't. I've been frantically rebuilding my studio this morning. Hello, thank you for your help, Mrs. R.A. Did I you just want to watch the train wreck? She's just here to watch the train wreck. Welcome. It's Monday. Oh my goodness. It is good to be here. It's really good to be here. Let's get started appropriately. Let's turn some music down a little bit. Music down. Can you guys see me? Yes, I think so. Yes. Okay. We've got confirmation that that's working. Let's see if we can get maybe, I don't know, some commands so people can take a seat. That would be nice if I had started that when I was supposed to. Let's give it a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. When it pops up here, then your commands will work. Boom. There are your commands. Commands are working. So that looks good. This is going to be over there. Now, I think we used to do a thing where we had chat appear on the screen. Is that still going to be possible for those of us that are technologically challenged this morning? Come on, keep my fingers crossed. Oh, well, that's not working. Hang on. Rescan USB devices. Do the buttons work? Watch the buttons. If something really cool happens, then we're good. Hey, something cool happened. It works. Something just fell on the floor. Correct? That's all right. That's not working either. Now let's try it. Hey, we have chat. All right.
He just sent a super sticker with 4.99.
That is awesome. Krista, thank you for fixing everything. I appreciate that. We are back in business. I think everything's working. I'm missing one cable. I don't know if I accidentally donated it to Dr. Joe down in Florida in his condo. I might have left it there. Sorry, Dr. Joe, if I did. But I'm missing one cable, and I can't run my rewind machine and my green screen at the same time if missing the cable. So I'm gonna search my bags again. I swear it's like a very unique cable. But anyway, it was crazy. All right, yes, it's got a locking barrel connector. Does that make sense? So the same connector as this right here. That goes here. And it looks like this on the ground. So I don't think it's in here because I've torn this whole room apart as it shows. Anyway, I missed a couple things. I apologize. Quick, Krista, first, thanks for winning the internet and for getting it running first thing in the morning. A big shout out to Cachette for the 10 months. Let's turn the commands on. Happy to be here. Buried This Dracula is here. Welcome to the gallery. Thank you very much. And Gigi just gifted a noob sticker, which is very appropriate this morning. And I missed one earlier. Let me see if I can scroll up to see that.
Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
It was terrible. I apologize. Hold tight. We've got so much to talk about. What came? You guys. Who was it that was right before this? I need not top. I need live. Okay, it's not Lee. I don't think it was Lee. Somebody had a command. Either they became a member or they shared an anniversary, and I have missed it. I do apologize. Alicia, congratulations on your 6th month. Congratulations. And you're in the yellow. Merry Christmas. It's a great Christmas gift. I think that's what it might have been. It might have been saying that for 6 months I turned yellow. Okay, let me tell you, we have buffer, we have birthdays, we have all sorts of stuff. Hang on. I'm just a little I'm not sure what the word is. Befuddled the word? No. I'm a little discombobulated. Let's use a big word first thing on a Monday morning. Discombobulated this morning. So we'll get there. What time is a good time to call in? Well, if I had the right cables connected, anytime, but I'm not there yet. I need power to my phone. And a battery, charged battery pack. Must power the phone.
Have them send someone with more experience.
Oh, if only we had someone with more experience. Did you see Hunter staring at you? I did. Oh my goodness, I've got a story. I want to tell you all about the Florida trip. And first of all, thank you for making it possible. It was amazing. It was wonderful. Janice, welcome. 6 months of support there. Thank you so much. You're in yellow now. Ricky Watson as well. Keep up the good work. 9 months. 9 months of support, Ricky. Hey, little Ari, can you get one of the charged batteries that's right behind you there? Should have like 4 lights on it. That would work great.
How does he do that?
Okay. I'm surprised I was able to get most of it put back together. I think the camera angle's a little funky, but I'll work with that in a minute. And it's perfect. Thank you. Okay, now the phone is charging. I think the phone is connected now. I think we're online that way. All right, so I want to tell you a little bit before we dive into a court case, which I think we have available, and we're gonna do some homework on and get started and tell you what the schedule is for the holiday season. Because honestly, very few courts around the country are thinking, hey, now's a great time to drag a jury away from their family and make them sit in court all day long, and maybe we'll give them the 25th off. Very few judges are thinking this is a good idea, because it's not. So courts that are proceeding generally are very short in nature here. Some of the big trials are just not happening. But it's all good. It's all good. We'll have stuff to cover, and it's going to be very, very interesting. Let me tell you, for those that were not aware, this about a week ago, I made the decision that I wanted to go to Florida for the Maya hearing, that 4-hour hearing where all the motions were argued, and it was a big hearing. A lot of stuff was brought up. A lot of stuff that's been that we've discussed here was being argued in front of the judge, and he was going to ask questions back and forth and not really solve anything, but just get an idea of where everyone stood and get their arguments and then weigh it and then make a decision. And I wanted to be there for that. And you guys made it possible that I could do that. We ended up, I rented a car, drove down from North Carolina to Sarasota. It's about a 13-hour drive. Drove down on Thursday, stayed the night thanks to a very generous host of Mr. Dr. Joe Courtroom. Stayed at his condo there in Sarasota. And then I went to the court in the morning and had the help of just some amazing subscribers and addicts, fellow addicts, that helped me both locate the courthouse, park. Lois Cox paid for parking for my car. She wouldn't even let me pay for parking. She brought a dolly, which made it so I didn't have to lug all the gear in there. Helped me with the setup. Lois also helped watch all my gear through the duration of the hearing, so I could be in the courtroom and not be outside watching all the gear, so it didn't wander off. It was wonderful. She was instrumental. I got to meet up afterwards. I got to meet up with Jules. I got to meet the plaintiff's team. So I got to meet the Kowalski family, Jack, Maya, and Kyle. Also Greg and Nick. I got to see in the defense team. For some reason, they weren't interested in saying hello, and I'm not sure why. Maybe there was a lot on their minds. Or they were busy or something, but I got to see them, and they got to see me. Which during the first break in the hallway, I came out in the hallway, and we're talking with some of the crew that's there, and just chattering about what just happened, and the defense team comes out and they go all the way down to the end of the hall, and that's sort of where they're like huddling, right, and Mr. Shapiro is doing this like intent gaze in my direction, and we're saying hi to everybody. Just now that we've got a little bit of time, everything's set up and working, and then Mr. Hunter, he's gone like around the corner, but he like leans forward, so his head is like peering around the corner, and he's like doing the Hunter gaze. It was just, and he's glaring at me, and so I looked back and I smiled, and we were giving hugs and high fives and hellos and everything at the out in the hallway. But they were not they didn't not look as jovial as we did. Shapiro didn't want to call the burner phone. He mentioned the burner phone in court. He did mention the burner phone. Not sure if he knows that it's my burner phone. I think he just brought up that there was a burner phone being used between these parties. That's me. I was going to say, yeah, burner phone's right here. Just file your subpoena and good luck. Anyway, did not do that, but let's see. It was phenomenal. The storms. We got 6 inches of rain last night. Casey Cat. It was so much rain. There's a company. Oh, yeah. Buffer. I've got birthdays. I skipped the birthdays altogether. We'll get them in just a second, Sharon. I'll leave this on the screen. There's a company that hires cameramen all around the nation. And last night they started texting me directly saying, "Are you please available to go film the storm damage and the high water and everything?" And they wanted me to drive an hour and a half to the coast. And they're like, "We'll pay you $40." And I said, "I'm sorry, that barely covers the gas. So no, I can't do that." But anyway, let's see. We have birthdays, and what we have so far is Redtail Marta, Rick. Oh, sorry, Rick Groover's son James. So Redtail Marta James. So we skip. Don't say this part. Just say this part. James. Amber.
Bring the jury.
Amber, our mom, Janie. Okay, so Amber, our mom, Jane. Is it Janie or Amber that has the birthday? I'm confused a little bit by the. Sharon, would you be able to retype this just with the names of the people who have the birthday, not necessarily the relation of how we know them, just so I'll use that for the song. Alita Lay parents, Tom and Nancy have 52nd wedding anniversary. Tom and Nancy, congratulations, Alita. That is cool. 52nd. I hope they have a wonderful celebration. Let's see. Ivan, your mullet was not mentioned directly. Although hair was mentioned a little bit. Okay, Sharon says K, or she says KY. One of the two, K or KY, which are a little bit different. But he doesn't realize it's Scott's burner phone. He needs to watch more often, Jules. He needs to watch more often. I will say the planned protest did not materialize worth anything. Hey. That's cool. Who would have thunk? That is a good plug, but that's not the right one. This is but it's the right connector. Good. Thanks. All right, I will find, if the plug's here, I'm going to find it, but I don't think it's here. Yeah. All right. My birthday is Saturday, says Christy. Lois, I have to give you a huge shout out. Thank you very much. Although now I know your real name isn't Lois. I'm not going to out you online, but Lois, thank you. It was tons of fun. You made it a stress-free situation for me. Everything from finding parking to just getting in and being able to focus on the event. And at a huge sacrifice yourself. Honestly, you guys, Lois drove all the way several hours to get to court and did not enter the courtroom during the hearing. Instead, she sat in a closet, literally watching my gear, a little office watching my gear, and made it possible so I could not have to sit there and watch the gear, and I could watch the hearing and observe everything that was happening at the same time. Huge thank you to Lois as well as the many others that made this possible. All right. Birthdays. Let me see on birthdays one more time. Props to Lois Cox. What a gangster. Paying for parking. I know. No. Courtney Meek says it's my birthday. I'm gonna try to make a list here. We'll sing in just a second. Then we're gonna get started. We have to talk about a couple court cases. One that looks like we're gonna talk about, or we're gonna follow here. We might even begin it today. Courtney Meek. Man, lots of birthdays. Lots of birthdays. Okay. Okay, so I missed all the other ones, Sharon. Sorry, hang on. So I need Amber's mom, Janet. So Janet, Kaylee, Janet and Kaylee. Based on personal experience, lost stuff is usually found in the last place I look. Yes, I might have to look in Sarasota, though. That might be. Ven says, can I get an early birthday shout-out? I'm planning to sleep in on Thursday. Ven, yes, we'll add you to the list for a sleep-in in case you want to. You were here on time today, so we'll do that. Let's see. Tracy, we're going to add Kay to the list. Hopefully you can keep the memory alive with the wonderful times you had together. Let's see, where was Sharon's other list? Susan B. It's going to be just a birthday stream today. Let's see. Okay. So I cannot find the other message with everyone's birthday. Grass folk, no, I do not need an Audi. I tell you, I would, if my car was worth as much as the rental car I got for last week, what it was worth, I would be nervous just parking it in the parking lot. It would change the way I function. I wouldn't let my kids ride their bikes in the driveway. I don't need something that stresses me out that much. It was very comfortable for the trip. I'm glad I could rent it and return it and not have to worry about that on a day-to-day basis. I'm fine with my kids being able to hit my car with their scooter as they're zipping around in the driveway, and it doesn't concern me. That's the level of car I'm comfortable with. No, Shapiro didn't open the door for him. Jen, I did try to make myself available in case they wanted to talk at the end of the hearing. I stood up and stood by the exit so that I didn't block the exit, but they would definitely see me in sort of there by the exit on the way out, and they all kept their heads down except for Ms. Correll's, who gave me a curt smile like that. Let's see. Let's see. Where's the command? Okay, Sharon. That's okay. Here we go. Red tail. Marta.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Rick. Let me tell you who I have on the birthday list so far. Is it Rick Groover's grandson? Is it Rick that has the birthday or Rick Grover's grandson? And Susan. I've got Susan. So now I have Courtney Meek, Janet, Callie, Ven, Kay, Susan, Redtail, Marta, and Rick. But I think it's not Rick. I think it's his grandson. Brian. We're going to drive Trophy Wife. We're going to put Brian on here as well. Okay, let me just say, we've never had this many birthdays on a single day before. What? Let's see. It's December 18th. January, February. What happened? What happened 9 months ago? I mean, like, what's? Never mind. We'll talk about that later. Let's see. My son's like, good luck saying all those names. Lots of birthdays. It's also Brad Pitt's birthday. Well, Matthew, I appreciate you sharing. Brad Pitt doesn't need me to sing to him, I think. I think he'll be okay. So we're just going to sing happy birthday to everyone. Kimbers, Ohio, thank you very much. I love it here as well. Thanks. That's possible because of you. Would not be the same without you. I appreciate you being here, Kimbers. So I'm going to read the name one more time. I need everyone to focus here, and if we could just limit chat for just a second so we could focus on the birthday list. Was it Valentine's Day? Is it Valentine's Day 9 months ago? It was May, so it's a late Valentine's. Maybe somebody forgot the gift and it arrived in May. Let's see. Why do we have emoji of the scooter? Who was it that asked for the scooter? Was that Richard? Okay. Okay, buffer one more time. Rick's grandson is called James. Okay, so I'm going to change the Rick to James. Okay, so here's the list, and if it's your birthday today, red pen, it's Robin Noel's too. It's Robin Noel's. Is Robin in chat? Robin, where are you at? Let's see. I'm going to put Robin on here as well. Okay, so I'm reading the list. Ready? If you don't hear your name, then add it to the list. I have Courtney, Janet, Callie, Ven, Kay, Susan, Redtail, Marta, James, Brian, and Robin. Suzette. We'll add Suzette. This is like an anomaly. I've never seen this many birthdays on a single day. Babs? Krista, it's Babs as well? Okay, we're gonna have to start singing because apparently everyone is getting a birthday today. It's not Janet, it's Janie. I typoed that. Sorry about that. That was my mistake. I'll fix it to Janie. Okay. See your last comment. Guys, the birthdays are they're stressing me out now. Take a deep breath and pause the song. RA may need a prayer. Okay, here's what we're going to do. On the birthday thing, I'm going to say that instead of a latch command, it is going to be a pause. So I'll be able to pause it, sing all the names, and then start the music again. Steve, it's your birthday today. Okay. Wow. Okay, happy birthday, Steve. We'll add that. Okay, there we go. I think I've got them all. And if I missed it, please know that I'm sorry. I truly am sorry. Let's give this a go. Courtney, Janie, Kaylee, Ven, Kay, Susan, Redtail, Marta, James, Brian, Robin, Suzette, Babs, and Steve. Everybody, la 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 la. I'm going to pause the song just so you expect it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Courtney, Janie, Kaylee, Ven, Kay, Susan, Redtail, Marta, James, Brian, Robin, Suzette, Babs, and Steve. Happy birthday to you. Oh my goodness. That was a good one. Happy birthday to everyone. If it is your birthday today and I neglected to call out your name, please know I am sorry. I celebrated everyone else, but it was not intentional. I left anyone out. If you are having a birthday today or you're celebrating over the weekend or about to celebrate your birthday, first of all, it's a great time of year to have a birthday. Congratulations. Thank you for being here and letting us celebrate your special day with you. Happy birthday to Megan. Yep. Happy birthday to you. I hear all the echoes of the singing from around the world. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, 10 out of 10, says Denise. Thank you very much. All right, we have a couple things going on. We want a court case to follow, and like I mentioned, we have. I'll turn down the music here a little bit. Happy birthday! There we go. Make sure you get your free pancakes at Denny's. Let's see. As a labor and delivery RN who has been very busy at work, I can promise you there are always a lot of birthdays this time of year. Between Valentine's Day and winter storms, it's a busy 9 to 10 months later. Yes, and we saw that today. We saw that. Cachette just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much. Giving out the gifts on people's birthdays. That is amazing, Cachette. Thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity. Let's you need to assign each row a name to sing. Oh. We could do it in parts or like like in rounds. I see a lot of this discussion in chat. I see a lot of, can we do Ruby Frankie? I don't know. It's audio only, right? The hearing today is audio only. There's no video, which is always tough to follow because people are hearing things that the screen is not matching. And it's a tough one. Man, it's a tough one. It's got child abuse stuff in there that is not easy to listen to. I was going to tell you what our idea was, and this came from some of our amazing mods. Abina, oh my goodness, the one you texted me about the trial starting in February, I think it's the 26th. But jury trial should take, or jury selection 7 to 10 days. This is a pro se defendant. It involves pew-pews again, so that'll be interesting. But it's a July 4th parade attack, and with the pro se defendant. So it's almost like Darrell Brooks all over again. But it's gonna be interesting. I don't know on the Ruby Frankie what the restrictions are on the court case, and honestly, I'm not sure. Let's see. I heard she was going to plea. Want to do Ruby Frankie? I will need a little bit of digging if she's taking a plea deal. This is happening out in Utah, so they're a couple hours behind me. I would need some information. I'd need some information from somebody who can do some research on that one. Let's see. Ivan's doing some digging on the Zachariah Anderson placement situation. I know a guy who does the AA meetings inside the place. These will update when I know more. Ivan, I think the family, it was more of a request on their part, and I saw a message. I got a message over it, and I can't recall the details of it, but I think it was not. There was nothing nefarious about it. So if Ruby's going to do a plea deal, per her lawyer, that's the hearing today. Can someone give me the details on the hearing as far as date, time, location? Is it WebEx? Where's the feed coming from? Is Ruby Frankie the 8 passengers lady? She's the YouTuber, yeah, with a bunch of kids. Corey as well. Corey's on our schedule. When Corey happens, I think I'll be there, Mika, for that one. That's a crazy one. Sometime today, sometime. On Friday, Ruby's lawyer came out with a statement that she'll be taking a plea today. Does that mean the hearing goes on? Because there's supposed to be a hearing today in that one. Is that going to happen in a hearing, or is that just a paperwork issue that's filed? Let's see. The plea deals today. If anyone can listen and check the interwebs and see if we have a information about some about what's happening. If there is a hearing, I'd like to see it. I've been, let's see, on that one I have not been in contact with the court on that one yet. But Van, need a place to stay in Utah. It's a ways out. We're looking at that. I don't know if that's the Corey Richards trial. The case is in Park City, and the commute early mornings trying to get from places I'm familiar with to Park City is a bit of a drive. So I'm not sure, but at the same time, Park City is just a little bit outside of the price range for just about any time we stay in Utah. It's a spendy spot. It's where the Olympics happened. It's a ski resort town. So we'll have to find a spot. I don't know. Maybe Camas might be just as bad. We'll see. That's in the future, but we'll have to talk that over. Let's see. Did you hear about the escaped inmate in Brazoria County, Texas, who was helped out by his mom, housed at the same facility as the BP agents that were just convicted of murder? I think Nick the Hat, was texting me about that, if that's the right one. About that escapee. Let's see. Where it was, I was wondering if the plea deal changed that time. The Chugi Show Live. The phone is connected, by the way, if you need to call in. We'll try to keep conversations focused on what's coming up. And I realize I haven't told you what we have in the works right now, as well as I guess the Ruby Frankie, I think, is the first thing. Frankie plans to enter a plea agreement during at the 11 a.m. hearing. 11 would be what? 1 o'clock here, according to Fox, which received a statement Friday from the law firm representing Frankie. Okay, so basically that's not going to court. That's not going to trial. It'll be in the hearing. The judge needs to accept it. I thought that that hearing is not... Thanks, Sharon. I just got the link on the mod chat. I think it's not going to be televised. Washington County on Monday. Let's see. So they're going to throw the Hildebrandt under the bus. It's 11 a.m. Utah time, which I believe is 2 hours behind us, right? It's 10 right now Eastern, so that would put it 8 o'clock in Utah. So we can watch for that. Sue says today, family vlogger Ruby Frankie expected to enter a plea and place the blame on Jody Hildebrandt. We'll have a live stream of the hearing that is set to begin at 11 a.m., and that's the Law and Crime Network. Okay, so that might be out there. We'll watch. There's going to be a lot of news covering that, I think. Kathy and Pam, Michelle Trocantis in Connecticut starts in January. Jury already picked. Hearings going on now. Sent info to Twitter. Kathy, I will look for that. We'll put it on the calendar. Also, in January we also have at the end we've got Sarah Boone. So we need to pick stuff that's not going to overlap with Sarah Boone. And man, and it looks like there's a good case shaping up in February as well. Let's see. Miss Justice Jones, was it your birthday today? I'm sorry if I missed that. We sang to 1 million people. I'm sorry if I missed you. Okay. Lost power in Massachusetts. You guys, this storm that was moving through was crazy. We got 6 inches of rain overnight. Cat was not a fan. A lot of lightning. Some pretty good strong winds as well. Okay, so that said, have you already told what happened in court Friday with Maya's case? Cheryl, I haven't told the whole scenario, and I guess we could do that because it was incredible. And now that I'm rested up, I think I slept for 2 days straight once I got back. It was an exhausting trip. I didn't have any problem falling asleep on the road, mostly because people called me on the burner phone, and I talked for 6 hours straight on the phone. But I did on the way down, I got to do a few things that I'd never done before. One of them was see wild pigs on the side of the road, which I guess is a thing in South Carolina and Georgia. Oh, thanks. I also got to go and experience something that I'd never done before, and that was I went to a little place where there's a gas station, a big gas station that has a little, a cartoon character that's a beaver. I went to Buc-ee's. I got myself a little Bucky, a live little Bucky who's messing with my headphones right now. No, I got myself a little hand puppet from Buc-ee's for the kids, and the kids are loving it. But went to Buc-ee's. Incredible experience, by the way. South Carolina, that's amazing. I do want to take my family just to see Buc-ee's, and it was a lot of fun. There's apparently I didn't know you could get samples of all the jerky, or I would still be standing in the jerky section eating samples. Did the bathrooms? The bathroom wing was incredible. It was huge. It was amazing. But it was a lot of fun. I hear they're actually they might be building a Buc-ee's in North Carolina as well, further west from me, but a little closer. Let's see. So I went through North Carolina, South Carolina. That was early morning. And did you take us in with you? No, you did not. I wasn't sure if it was allowed, Ella. I wasn't sure if it was allowed. But obviously not in the bathrooms, because that is not allowed. Then we'd have another court case to handle. Okay, we want to hear more stories about the cast of characters from the trial. Melanie, for those that watched, I spent the night at Dr. Joe Corcoran's condo. And that was, I have to thank him. He was an incredibly gracious host, and told me how to get in and everything. And so I basically arrived with him not there. But I wasn't sure if I was in the right spot. I had a good idea that it was in the right building, but I wasn't positive. There was no like signs that says Joe Corcoran lives here or anything. And so I'm just like, I think this is it. And so I set up, and I'm doing my live little podcast with Thomas, and Joe bashes in the door, and he's like, "Who the heck's in my house? Who are you? Get out of my house!" And it made me jump, and at the same time I was very relieved that it was him. But Joe had such a fun time doing that, and I think Rob from Law and Lumber helped arrange that little prank. So thanks, Rob. But in doing that, when we went to the courthouse the next day, I met with Greg and Nick Whitney, and I saw the Kowalskis. I got to meet with them and everything. That was really cool. And after I'm doing that, I'm rushing around getting everything plugged in. I'm thinking, I don't want to take a lot of Greg's time or Nick's time trying to talk to them before the case, because they've got a lot going on, and I did too, trying to get everything working. But I look over, and Dr. Joe is telling Greg about what he did during the live stream on the podcast, and Greg is just cracking. He's like, splitting the gut, just laughing so hard at what Dr. Joe did. They're just the nicest people. They're down to earth. They're just. All the good things you see, they're just same with the Kowalskis. Oh my goodness, just the kindest, nicest people. That whole group is just a bunch of the people you just want to hang out with, that just want to be friends with, and just amazing. So yeah, is R.A. the porch pirate? Speculation grows. The porch pirate thing that went down while I was live streaming. He was watching his Ring camera, and somebody stole Christmas packages off his porch, and at a different location they stole from the delivery spot, and so he's calling the police and trying to chase that down. First of all, Grinches. It's all Grinches. Who does that? Really? Who does that? But he was at the same time a gracious host while he's getting robbed of Christmas presents. Dr. Joe's just an amazing guy, and I owe him so much, and a big thank you. And oh my goodness, if you haven't been to the Breakfast Company, that restaurant is phenomenal. Those cinnamon rolls are unlike anything I've ever had before. They were so good. We had two cinnamon rolls. We had one what we'd term like a traditional cinnamon roll, which is just like a cream cheese frosting cinnamon roll. But it's like a cinnamon roll loaf. It's huge. It's tall. It's huge. It's massive. Like the table we had 6-7 people around the table, and we all ate our fill of these cinnamon rolls, and there was still half of it left. And we had one of those, as well as one that had, I believe it was either caramel pecans or walnuts on it. I don't remember. It was tasty as well. Just amazing. And then each had a meal as well that was just, I had an incredible Denver omelet that I think the eggs were hatched right as I got there. I mean, not hatched, but like collected right as I got there. If they hatched, it would have been a very different sort of meal. But the freshest of everything. The veggies were just, it's like they had just grown them right as I showed up, picked them and chopped them and everything. It was just the freshest, the best, the tastiest you can possibly imagine. And quality, quantity, and price is perfect. They're an incredible location. It's no wonder the place was packed while we were there. And everyone, you can see everyone just loved it. The vibe, the community, the decorations, the service. I'm a huge fan. That's definitely going to be a must-stop location every time I'm in the area, which I hope to do again, because Florida was amazing. Let's see. A hatched Denver omelet. No, that was not on the menu. That was a slip of the tongue. Mayla's mom, 7 months. Whereas the time went. Can you please keep thoughts and prayers for my hubby? His GMA is in the last hours of life, and his birthday is tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry. Mayla's mom, thoughts and prayers with you and him. Appreciate that. Thank you for sharing. It's been a wonderful 7 months. Time has gone very fast, but it's been wonderful. Thanks. It wouldn't be the same without you here. Tell us about those cinnamon rolls. They were delicious. And the worst part, hope always, they let me keep the leftover cinnamon rolls. Like the table voted and said, you need to take them home to your wife. Now, if they had said, you need to take them home and eat them on the trip, I would have been like, yeah. But they said, no, we need to take them home to your wife, and we're going to send her a message and let her know that they're coming and to expect them, thus you cannot eat them on the way home. So I had to do 13 hours in the car with the breakfast company cinnamon rolls beside me, and I could not eat them, which was probably the worst part of the trip. The case itself, I wish I could put this into perspective. Honestly, I have watched trials as a kid. I'd go to court. I like to hang out in I like to hang out in traffic court. I like to watch, the small misdemeanor courts and things like that. I loved it. I didn't understand everything that was going on, but the whole environment was intriguing to me. And so I'd hang out there in my city court. I'd like to be there. But growing up, I didn't really have a lot of experience in court, even though I was interested in the law and interested in following the laws and the legislature and, everything from the law creation to the implementation and the police. And I was involved in everything, but I wasn't in court a lot. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Amber, they're different. They're different. I'll have to try them again. Let's do that. I'll have to try them again side by side, fresh, both side by side to give it a true analysis. They're both that good. How did you end up watching trials as a kid? Grass Folk, my city let me go in. I'd sit in the back, and nobody ever hassled me ever once walking into a little courtroom as a kid. And this is a tiny city court. It's nothing big. I think the worst crimes that went on was like drug possession, which I thought was like, that was equated to like murder in my book. That's like, this is the worst it gets in my town. But I never had a problem being there. I was a teenager and they let me in. A lot of courts do not allow children in. I think that's pretty much the rule across the board now for most places, unless you're part of the trial. Where was I? Let's see. I was saying something else. The experience of walking into court. First of all, I was nervous about getting the electronics worked out. The pool photographer was great to work with. Court TV ended up showing up late. Fox ended up showing up late. A couple other local news stations ended up showing up late and requesting copies of the video, which is what the pool photographer has to do. The pool photographer has to record it, and anyone who shows up and says, "Hey, I'd like a copy," they have to give it to them. And there was a technical mistake that occurred, and the video from the first section of the first part of the trial was accidentally corrupted. And so nobody who came late could get that copy. And so I told them that I have a feed that went out on my channel, and they were welcome to take that because I had the 1080p version. Everyone else was putting out 720p, but it was good. Adriel Hillis, yes, send me details on that. Send me details. I'd like to know if there are trials coming up. When, where, the rules. See, I felt a divorce storm brewing and was drawn back to court. Why does it smell like cinnamon in here? Shh. Let's see. Yes, Ivan, you were probably the worst of the worst when I was a kid. I just wasn't exposed to much, but I loved the court scenario. Okay, so with that said, that was my background for court, right? For seeing it as a kid, traffic infractions mixed in with petty offenses, a little bit of theft, a little bit of automobile theft, some burglary, a little bit of drug possession. That's what I was exposed to, and I loved that setting. And I had not been in a court setting, a proper court setting, since that time, and I didn't realize that. I've watched a million of them remotely, but I'd not been there. And so actually sitting in the courtroom and looking around and seeing these are, first of all, we've got the plaintiff's family that I've seen for 9 weeks online, and they're right there, and we've got the people behind them, the familiar faces, the bailiffs. I'm recognizing bailiffs' faces. Here's ahead of me was, because I had to sit on the defense side where all the media got to sit. The defense is there with all their people, and I'm looking at the back of Mr. Shapiro, Mr. Hunter, and Mr. Altenburn, and Ms. Carell's as well, in the row ahead over to ahead, and so it's like surreal. And I'm sitting there just taking in the whole courtroom experience, and then the bailiff says, "All rise," and in walks Judge Carroll. And in that moment, it just like the significance of what I was observing just sunk in. And it was so surreal just to capture it all. And I was actually really glad I got to sit in the back corner, even though I would have loved to sit on the plaintiff's side just to show support. I got to sit in the corner where I could see everything that was happening in front of me, because directly kitty corner for me in the courtroom, I was in the back corner, and the other back corner is the judge. And so I got the defense, I got to see the cameras, I got to see the plaintiffs, all the bailiffs. And so anytime defense was making a motion and saying the name, Beata's name wrong, I got to see Jack just shaking his head, knowing that they still don't get it. They still don't understand. And I just got to soak it all in, and it was so surreal. It was so incredible, and the experience was just amazing. Let's see. I've always had a low voice, so maybe that's it. Maybe they thought he looks young, but his voice sounds old enough that he's an adult. That's why they might have let me in. Transporting cinnamon rolls across state lines is illegal. Maya's she's a beautiful young girl. She's actually an adult now. She turned 18. So one of the things that was mentioned in the hearing while we were there was that all the paperwork in the court moving forward has to be changed to list her by name as opposed to as a dependent of Jack, because she's over 18. She is 18, so. Carmen, did I miss your member chat? I had to step away, but I checked and it wasn't read while I was away. I'm sorry to be a bother. Let me see, Carmen. I may have missed it. I see John Links. Love my daily true crime family. Thanks, Scott and mods. Carmen, let me see. If I missed that chat, I do apologize. Let me see what it says. Linda Denton, did you hear where in North Carolina Buc-ee's is going? I'm near Raleigh and would love it to be close. So glad you got to go to Florida. I think it would be west of you, but I don't remember what city it was. Mayla's mom, I got that one. Carmen, I am sorry. I did miss it, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not able to scroll up far enough to see it. If you let me know what it says, I would like to shout it out for you. Julie Martin says, I've had to work. What did RA go up to court for? Julie, the situation, and it gets a little tricky to explain it, but the situation was that there was a very high possibility that I would not get to use any of the video from that trial unless I was there in person. And I had to do that. We wanted that. And so I think in the end, the situation changed. It was different than what we expected it to be, but it still allowed me to get the feed. I was able to get it in 1080p, where everyone else normally has 720p. So I had a higher quality video, even though we had a couple connection issues early on. And those were my fault because I also, in addition to having it the highest quality, I also had it with the shortest delay possible. Whereas if I had given a longer delay, the software on the back end, on the server end that manages the signal would work the buffer a little bit differently and allow it to have rise and falls without any dropouts. Kidda Smith says, I'm so happy for you, Scott, that you got the opportunity to do what you love. I do love doing that, and we want to do more. And we'll be in talks with people that will, coming up for additional cases. Twubble, welcome to the gallery. Look at that yellow courthouse. Thank you. Let's see, Julie, I think we got that one. We went for the Maya trial. Mabane, North Carolina is where the Buc-ee's is going. Thank you, Amber Jones. Isn't that on the west side? There's a Buc-ee's in Sevierville, Tennessee. I can see why you only put like one in a state. They're huge. There's not room for two. Welcome, Brandy, 13th juror. Good to have you here. Hope you're doing just absolutely fabulous today. I waved at you as I drove by like 100 miles east of you. when I was in Florida. Let's see. I missed the first part. Does anyone have the entire recording? I believe Court TV and Law and Crime and possibly Fox have an entire recording in 720p. I've got most of it in 1080, but I've got a couple dropouts that we had an issue with a signal briefly. It's me says, so do you agree with the amount of the settlement? I think the jury picked that number for a reason. I believe that the part of the settlement is meant to stand as a deterrent for other people in that same industry, which is a very profitable industry overall. And I think a smaller penalty or a small penalty would not be that deterrent. So I think it did have to be big. But I think it will be reduced, and I think it probably in a couple cases should be reduced a little bit in a couple areas, but not by much. Hey, Joe, let's go. Welcome to the gallery. Thank you. Let's see. Did I miss Carmen? Did I miss your comment? Texas is big, but there are many Buc-ee's in Texas. Morning. I made it out of Florida just in time ahead of this storm. Like it rained on me a couple times, but I was just on the front end. And when the storm finally came through here the other day, it pounded us pretty good. So I'm glad I didn't get hit while I was on the road. What was your favorite part during the hearing? My favorite part. I took notes with Rob's pen. Let's see. My favorite part was when I thought I heard Mr. Altenburn say that basically, I don't know what led up to the conversation, but he was saying that what we've learned, basically, what the hospital's learned from this experience, that this is a deterrent to the hospital. They're going to be very careful about who they let in and how long they let them stay. And I'm thinking, yeah, you're right, because you've got some nurses and doctors that have access to patients. You have to be very careful about that. He wasn't talking about that, though. No, instead he was talking about children in custody, DCF situations. He said we're going to let them stay and then transfer them to another hospital. And the judge countered and basically said, "You're saying Sarasota General or Sarasota Memorial Hospital would batter Maya the way you did?" It was, oh my goodness, that was funny. But I really enjoyed that part. Oh, the phone's calling. I didn't realize it was ringing here.
Call from Pachugi Show.
Is it Patricia or who's on the phone? I missed it.
The Chuvy Show.
The Chuvy Show. Oh, the Chuvy Show. How are you doing?
Great. I tried to call it a little bit ago, and we didn't quite make the connection there. So,
I had the ringer turned
Kat.
off. Sorry.
Oh, you are boomering it so bad today. No,
yes, I was. It was bad. What's happening? What's on your mind?
Well, I wanted to say some things about Ruby Frank, but first of all, I want to make it clear that no matter what Jules tells you, first of all, what happens on TikTok stays on TikTok.
Okay.
Second of all, none of it, no matter what she tells you, none of it was my fault.
None of it was your fault. Okay.
It was all her. She had the water, not me. It was all her.
It was.
I tried to tell you that it was all me, but it wasn't.
I will tell you, it was a lot of fun meeting up down there. It was. I did a 10-minute live stream with Jules, and when I thought 10 minutes, I didn't realize that it was going to be 10 minutes, and then it stops abruptly. So sorry about that, Jules, because I was in mid-sentence when it stopped, not knowing that time was running out.
We had a great conversation. That girl is hilarious. It was great to get a chance to know her a little bit better. But now Ruby Frank, I was trying to Google this yesterday once I heard about the plea deal. Uh-huh. And I did see something that the hearing was supposed to be scheduled at like 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So that would be 1 p.m. Eastern Time for me. They did have permission to broadcast that. I've been trying to figure out if, for some reason, this plea deal changes the time. It doesn't look like it is. I'm going to be online here pretty soon, and and keeping an eye out, constantly Googling things. I can drop a message in chat. I don't have a whole lot of money to like super chat you to get your attention.
Don't
so
do that. Don't do that.
if the
reach out on the
chat
phone.
can just kind of be on the lookout.
Reach out on the burner phone. That's probably the easiest way.
Just text you?
Yeah. Text or give a call if you want to. Either way.
Okay.
But
so I'll be booting up my computer here in a minute to do that. One of the concerns that has been expressed about this plea deal is that it kind of sounds like she's hoping to reunite with her children as quickly as possible. Her lawyers had this whole thing the statement that they released.
I'm not sure if that's going to happen that quick. She might be in for a little surprise on that one. I think the court's going to be hesitant to just let everything go back to normal.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. But she is supporting her husband getting these children. And see, there was issues of not good behavior on their part pre-Hildebrand that the husband really needs to be investigated on. And they really need to be considering that into account.
I don't have any information on that, so I can't speak to that. I don't have anything on that front. But I will tell you that the court is probably going to take a slow approach to any decision regarding children in this situation, and make sure that that there's a lot of input from the many players that are involved and the people who do have the information. So
I hope so, but Utah, man. Utah, do you realize how long people have been trying to get them to do something about this?
Yeah,
this has been a long road to get here where we are now. There's been all kinds of reports, and nothing has been being done, even since before pre-Hildebrand.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's going to turn the tables on Hildebrand, but it would then.
I don't know if that'll cut it.
The thing that released really worried me about whether or not.
I don't know if that's going to cut it.
How long she's going to be in jail and when they're going to let her out.
To try to blame another party who was involved and say it was all them. I don't think you can do that at this point. I think there's too much evidence that shows that there was willing participation.
Yeah.
In my mind, on those. I mean, that's just my opinion. Obviously, the court's going to weigh all this, and the prosecutors are weighing this when they consider the pleas that they offer. So if there is a plea deal accepted, it's going to be one that the prosecution feels that is just, that achieves the what they need to legally. Anyway, we'll see if we can catch some of this today and stay up to date on it. But thank you very much.
Nothing would make me happier if this forced Hildebrand to try to take a plea deal, and that may be what they're trying to do. Because I think they are trying to avoid having to make these children testify at all.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that's one of the worst things about cases that involve children like this, when they have to relive the nightmare they went through. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And obviously, for that reason, if anything like that did go on, I would not be covering it. That's usually the courts steal those anyway, and it's not open to the public when that happens. But thank you very much, The Chugi Show. Appreciate hearing from you.
All right.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Alicia, it was great to meet you, Scott. I need a hoodie like Jules for our interview with Dr. Joe, Cake Lady. I had great help designing the Jules hoodie, and Jules got that hoodie. It's weird because it's out on the in our merchandise page. I don't know how to remove it, but I had to make it as an item of merchandise
to accept.
So that I
Press
could get it from Jules. Hey, I was going to say Jules, but it's Ivan. Ivan, what's happening this morning?
I'm sorry to disappoint everybody. You know,
and it is a disappointment. You nailed it. What's up, Ivan?
It's okay. I've been disappointing people my whole life, so
you're good at it. What's happening, my friend? What's up?
I just so I didn't get to pick up on everything. I kind of only watched bits and pieces because I was so busy that day. But so what was actually decided is my first question. What was the end result of the hearing per se?
Okay, the end result, nothing was really decided in the hearing, and the judge made this clear going into it, saying, "I'm going to be listening, and I'm going to be asking questions, and you guys are going to be talking, but don't expect me to bang the gavel and say so let it be written, so let it be done at any time during the hearing." So the only thing we got out of this is that sometime this week, probably midweek, we expect the judge to make a decision on the juror interview. And I think I know Kurt from Uncivil Law is saying there's no way. I think I'm leaning more with Rob on this one and seeing I think it has to happen in some form, but I think it's going to be very limited. And the reason is you've got the court who's in a tight spot. The reason they would have to do it is because the appearance of impropriety is a concern for appellate, and so that appearance needs to be, it needs to be shored up. They need to know that nothing's wrong, and I would say they already do, but with this being raised, if they don't do anything to address it, it might look like there's something that isn't there. But I think all they need to do is probably call in juror number 1 and just say, "Hey, juror number 1," and the judge would be handling this, not any of the attorneys.
Hey, Mr. Juror, are you a Nazi? Like, is that going to be how it goes?
No. It's let me tell you, this is how I think it's happening. They need to call in juror number 1 and say, "Hey, thanks for coming down. Step into the judge's chambers." I think the lawyers might be there as observers, and that's it. And the judge is going to say, "Thanks for coming down. I've got a couple quick questions for you. Every day during trial, I asked you a question. And I said, did you follow my counsel? Have you not talked to anyone? And you every day you affirmed that was correct. Do you still stand by those answers?" And he's going to say yes. Right. And they might ask 1 or 2 more questions that are along those same lines. Did you get any information or questions from social media or something? Nope. Did you read about this? Nope. All right. Done.
And
that's it.
Okay. And then another question I would have is, sort of a 2-part here. So how, if all the appeals that get filed or whatever, because I can't believe this will be the last straw that they do, because in my experience, just the little bit I know about civil trials, mainly like when the gun manufacturers were sued, it took years before anybody got $1.
Right.
I mean, how old do we think Maya's going to be before she sees $1?
This could take forever. This could take forever. But let me tell you what's going to happen. Once the judge decides the juror issue, which he's going to decide this week, and it will probably happen first week of January or so. I think there was a date that he picked where he basically said, "Are you guys ready? If I decide to do this, would you guys be okay with this date?" Which makes you think he's basically decided to do it. But once that's done, assuming what we all assume, that the questions will show that there was nothing inappropriate done, and that the juror still stands by the statements he made in court when he was asked the same questions then. Once he does that, and there will be no investigation of cell phones. There will be no court-ordered, forensic scan of anyone's devices. That is so absurd that it will not happen. But anyway, once that happens,
isn't that a Fourth Amendment issue? Isn't that a Fourth Amendment issue?
Oh, to
begin with,
you've got all sorts of issues. You've got the privilege between husband and wife. Protective communications that you would have to pierce. You've got parties, not relevant to the case, because they don't want his phone. They want his wife and Jules. He's like, no, that's not happening. You can't just be like, "Hey, you watched court. We're going to subpoena your phone." What did you
delete your search history, Jules? Delete now.
No. Delete. We're not saying any of that. I'm just saying that their request is absurd. That's. They don't want juror number 1s because they know there's going to be nothing there. That's my thought. There's going to be nothing there. They're trying to dig far in the realms outside to find somebody who might have said something in a text message to someone else that they can insinuate this would mean that something else happened. It's layers upon layers of fabrication, in my opinion, that just aren't going to happen.
This is sore loserism to the 10th degree. Okay, you know what? I've never seen such sore loserism. And you know what side I was on. I thought she should get money, but the amounts. But Lord help me, if that number goes $1 below $200 million, I am calling Mark Tinsley.
Okay, well, let me answer your first question, Ivan, because you're saying how long is this going to take? The judge is going to make a decision on the juror interview, and that's probably going to happen the first week, January 3rd. I think would be the soonest date that would occur. Once that's done and out of the way, once that's resolved and put to bed, which I think it will be on that date, then he resolves all the other issues regarding remittitor and everything. He's going to look at everything else where he's going to knock some of the amounts down a little bit. I think I would be surprised if the number does not drop by at least $5 million. I'll just say at least $5 million coming off, and maybe a little bit more. But I think overall, the jury's verdict is going to stand with a sizable award for the Kowalskis. Once that's done, he enters a judgment. And the judgment is where he says, "All right, we've gone through all your arguments. I've listened to this. This is baloney. I'm throwing that out. I hear that. I'm going to adjust this." He makes all that, and then he brings out the gavel, and he says the number. And I don't know. It's going to be like what, $240 million. And he boom, you're ordered to pay. And right at that moment, a clock starts ticking, and it starts counting up. $56,000 a day of interest. And that is due to the Kowalskis.
That's worse than a check cashing loan.
It's terrible. It is terrible. Now realize that is a small percentage. I mean, it's a good percentage, but it's not like 30% interest rate or something. It's a small percentage. It's just a huge amount, and so interest accrues quickly. And the hospital is going to be looking at that, and at some point they're going to say, "Yeah, we can keep filing motions. We can keep dragging this out. We can keep fighting for a new case. We can ask for this and ask for that and protest and drag our feet." But what they can't do is stop that clock. And that number is going to keep ticking. And eventually they have to say, look, it's not worth it to drag our feet anymore. We've tried our best, and they're going to want to do something. I think they will go through mitigation. I think both sides have expressed an interest in possibly meeting together and finding a middle ground somewhere where they, the Kowalskis might say, okay, look, in order for this to be done, we will accept an XYZ amount, and it's going to be much higher than the hospital wants. I mean, at one point, I think the hospital offered $1, so they've got a ways apart that they need to make up some middle ground. But once the judge enters that judgment, why the Kowalskis are not the ones that have to find the middle ground. They don't have to give much at all, because the judge has already spoken.
So somewhere between $1 and $250 million. So
yeah.
Well, good deal, man. I'll let you fly. I just want to say I am taking partial credit for helping keep you awake. I appreciate the phone call.
Late night call. That was good. That was wonderful. So we were at Buc-ee's, by the way. Kept me awake all the way to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, right.
So
I know. I feel like I was cheating on Quick Trip just by talking to you at a Buc-ee's.
So win-win.
Don't miss the forest for the
Thank you,
trees.
Ivan. Appreciate it. Good hearing from you.
Have a great day. Love you.
See you. Bye. All right, Krista says, I won the internet with a complete word for once. Krista, that's phenomenal. Good job. Megan Easton, you missed Carmen Does Stuff message again. Oh, no. Carmen. I'm sorry. There's a lot of messages in chat. Baby Gator says, hi, did you see that Hannah Payne was sentenced? Are you going to cover it? The sentencing happened while we were gone on the trip, and I did hear about it. I'll tell you what it was. We're not going to replay it here. But the sentence came back, and I believe it was a life in prison with parole, and then consecutively a 13-year sentence. So it's a long time. I think the way it works out is like 43 years minimum of time served before she could possibly get out. Carmen, let me look for your message. Carmen Does Stuff. Hey, Joe, let's go. I mean, it depends where you buy it. Yes, good places. We also very cool place. If you ever do an upcoming message me on Discord, let's hang out. Carmen Does Stuff. I'm trying to see your message that you wanted me to read because I missed your memberversary chat. Can anyone... Okay, I just said, thank you for creating this place for all of us to hang out. Here it is. And hi from Latvia. We are indeed a country, so you got international fans too. Last try, she says, last try. Carmen, I'm glad we caught it. It took a little bit of work. I'm sorry I missed it the first time around. Hello to everyone in Latvia. Thank you very much for being here with us. That's amazing. What does Carmen Does Stuff do? Well, she does stuff. Lindsay, I got it. She's worked very hard to get that message in, and thank you, Megan, for your help on that one. Ooh. Colorado courts, People versus Chuniak, 21 CR 2806, and Cooper, 21 CR 2800, amended decorum order. Specifically, there shall be no audio or video recordings, still photography, interviews, conversations with the press, or requests for interviews outside courtrooms 401 and 402 to include the hallway. So the hallways are now off limits on that one. What happened there? I haven't followed that one. But the hallways are now off limits in that court. All right, where did we leave off on the discussion? Are we going to get to a trial today sometime, Kevin? Let me tell you what we want to do. If you give me just 1 minute. There's a trial that has already occurred, that's already happened. I'm trying to pull it up here. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay, I just got a text that Ruby Frankie court today, and they have a WebEx. Do you know if that WebEx is allowed, if the court has granted that it can be used, the audio can be used from that? Or is that ruled that you can't? Turn this off, reset that. We've got jury selection, day 3, day 4, day 2. We're looking at the Samantha Josephson murder, which was the trial of Nathaniel Rowland, for those that are curious. This is a trial that was presided over by Judge Newman in South Carolina, and it's happened already, so it's concluded. We know how it ends, but it's one that that would be interesting to go back and watch. This was a couple years ago, so it's before Alex Murdaugh. Let's see. Playlist. So because the courts are not having a lot of trials here over the holiday season, we probably have to go back and dig one up from the archives to watch together. $18 million, $18 million a year in interest is no chump change. That's the thing with the Maya trial. Once that judgment is entered, and the plaintiffs, they really want the judgment in. They really want it in. That accrues so quickly, and they can't get out of that. That's not like something they can say, oh, we forgot to pay that. No, the court will make sure that gets paid. That's going to be adding up very, very quickly. We also have the eye drop trial as well.
Alex stole it.
Between the two of them, we've got 2 trials to follow, and we could start one of them today if you guys would like. Ashley says I started the eye drop trial yesterday. Let's see. Let's see, Lat Caluril. Yeah, we're not going to redo one that we've watched together on here, so we would find a new trial. The eye drop murder trial is a trial where Judge Darrow, who is the judge over Darrell Brooks' trial, presided. And so we'd like to see that one. But we have that on the books, as well as possibly the Nathaniel Rowland trial, which was from 2021. The eye drop trial happened just a couple months ago, or a month or so ago. And it still sort of is going on. Yes, it's the rideshare. It's the fake Uber. Get in the wrong vehicle, and then you got in the vehicle with a murderer instead of your Uber driver. Shall read the Newman trial is about this Nathaniel Rowland. This is a gentleman who I believe he had some priors where he was charged with receiving the property of a girl who may have been kidnapped and robbed. Did I get the 50K plaque hung up yet? No, it's sitting next to me still. I need to get it on the courtroom behind me. Knitting Addict, it's your birthday. We sang to so many people this morning. Happy birthday, Knitting Addict. Chandler Halderson. I know a lot of people who covered that one will probably not cover that trial right now.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
iDrop trial has gotten very interesting the last few days. So basically, it's between the iDrop trial and the Nathaniel Rowland trial. The call's getting dropped. I keep hearing sound that makes me think someone dropped a call. No, I'm getting some alerts from courtrooms that I monitor their social media feeds, and that's the sound that their alert makes. So like this one, Colorado courts. That case I was just read to you, the People versus Chichuniak and Cooper. The court has also been informed by a credible source that a juror has been approached while shopping with an invitation to speak after the case. That's bad.
Call from Jules.
Hey, Jules. Good to hear you again.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, I popped my jaw Saturday night, so if I'm speaking funny, it's because my jaw popped.
Oh, man. Was the jaw pop a good thing, or?
No, it was a very bad thing. Oh. It's a very bad thing. But in any case, it was so lovely meeting you in person. I had a great time. I hope the cinnamon buns made it home to Mrs. R.A. as planned.
They did. I agreed to that. Although I watched them for 13 hours next to me on the seat.
Well, I wasn't quite sure,
I turned on the seat warmer to keep them nice and warm. So.
Ouch. That's funny. I think someone should get in touch with Mr. Shapiro and school him in your burner phone, because I think that there's some misunderstanding going around on who burner phone I was calling.
Yes. I've invited him to call it several times and he has not. So, I mean, the invitation is still there. Mr. Shapiro, if you're watching, call the burner phone if you need the number, ! Burner in chat. That'll give you my burner phone number. It is my burner phone. And just for the record, the number doesn't change. We have never thrown it away. And the burner phone is a joke. It's a joke. It's just my phone number.
I know.
So, Mr. Shapiro, give us a call. We'd be happy to talk. Honestly, I'd love to interview you.
Yeah. And also, some people were asking in the chat the day that juror number one's wife was there and whether I interacted with her or not. Let me be very, very clear on this. When she was there, she never identified herself. No one knew. No one knew that was her. And did we speak? Yeah. Hey, how are you? General crap. She spoke. Oh, I don't know if I was supposed to say crap, but anyway, she spoke to a lot of people that were there. But it was like, hey, how you doing? Just general conversation.
Something anyone else who sat in court would have said.
Absolutely, and again, she never identified herself to anyone, to my knowledge. Alicia was there. I do not believe she identified herself to Alicia either. So, I don't know.
Me, I didn't know till after the verdict was in either. So it's like I was as surprised as anybody. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was crazy, but this whole thing, it's very upsetting because I think that they're carrying this a bit too far, especially where they're getting their information from. I just can't. I just don't see the judge buying into all of this.
Yeah.
But we'll, like you said, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on the 3rd. I don't know. It's crazy though. It really is crazy, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think it shows the level of desperation they're at. How far they have to dig, and literally, they're digging things up that are not. Nothing that they dug up shows that there's anything that was wrong, but they're digging all this up and saying, "See, this is all the proof." This is not enough proof to prove anything. If this was all the proof against a defendant in court, guess what? They would walk free. There's no proof. There's no proof of anything, and so they're trying to say because Jules was there every day and called into a live stream, clearly juror number 1 was compromised. And this is, I mean, they've got a couple links in there that they're trying to draw that connection, and it's just not there. It's just not there.
And it's not there. And when the judge asked him about knowing who I was, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. Listen, he knew exactly who I was from the beginning. He knew who I was. He had conversations with not huge conversations, but we spoke. Hey, good morning. How are you? He was very friendly to me in the beginning. I had conversations with Miss Cruel in the restroom. How it was so cold in the courtroom. Or one conversation was, does anybody know why the flag is at half mast outside the courthouse? Things of that nature. They knew exactly who I was. He didn't turn the tables on me until I outed him for lying to Court TV and to Fox 13 about a settlement offer, because he made a public statement stating, and this is not verbatim, but essentially he said, when he was asked, did the hospital make a settlement offer? He said, no, we never made a settlement offer. We would never make a settlement offer because mandatory reporting is at stake here, and we wanted this to go to trial. That was a lie. And so I pointed it out on my TikTok and showed the 2 settlement offers that they made. And from that day on, that's when he had it out for me.
Yeah, he didn't have any words for me, but I did see him glaring at me with Mr. Hunter down the hall. That's all.
They know who you are.
Yeah, it was
obviously.
I will tell you the judge, Judge Carroll. Clearly, I've never had any communication with him, but he came in the courtroom and he looked at me, and I could sort of see. You can tell when someone's looking at you, right? There's eye contact, and he sort of just smiled. He looked up and he smiled, and he went back to that was it. I think he thought it was funny that I was there, but he's like, hey, it's that kid from YouTube. There he is.
I think the defense team was quite surprised that you were actually there.
I think they were surprised as well. But had they been on the live stream and maybe contributed a little bit to the licorice fund or something, they would have known. But
this is very true. Also, just so you know, I did a live Saturday evening before I popped my jaw, that is, on my TikTok. And I don't know, Maya, if you're watching or if you're listening, but, thank you. She popped in to say hello on my live.
That's cool.
And, that was very cool. And everybody enjoyed the fact that she popped in and she outed our secret. Because we're supposed to do, when this is all said and done, we're supposed to do a live together. Mm-hmm. And she spilled the beans Saturday night. Because I haven't told anybody that.
But now we know.
Now everybody knows. I don't know when, but yeah. But you did a great job. And Mrs. R.A., you raised your husband well.
She is amazing. She really is.
He's a true gentleman. Anybody, if you ever have the opportunity to meet with this man, I suggest you do so. He's very gracious, He's humble and very tall.
Yeah, everyone thought I was a little bit bigger in life than I appear on the screen. Probably because I sit in the corner and I'm very small down here. But but it was. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2".
Yeah,
and I could probably play linebacker. I could probably play linebacker. Is that a fair comment?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. But I can't wait for you and Mrs. RA and the kids to come to Florida. We'll definitely have to get together after my whole TMJ thing is squared away. There's a bunch of us that are going to get together and go back to the breakfast company.
That was amazing, wasn't it? That was so good.
Well, I honestly, I wish I could praise it as much as you did, but as you know, I couldn't really eat because of the TMJ.
You were in pain, yeah. And
I was in pain. But Dr. Joe did send me home with 2 containers of the chicken lemon soup, which I was able to eat that. And I love Greek food, in every Greek restaurant I have ever gone to. That is my go-to for
They know how to do food right. They really do. It's so good.
This was the best chicken lemon soup I have ever had in my life. Yeah. And I've had a lot, but this is the best.
It was
was very cool.
I too. There's nothing that I experienced at the breakfast company that I would say that was in any way negative. Everything from the way the service, the food, the ambiance, the decorations, you name it. It was perfect. It's like they had pulled the best out of everything and put it together, and they had this little company with amazing food and you saw. I mean, the restaurant was packed the entire time. It was packed.
It was packed.
And still, just they're just turning out orders and just happy people walking in and out the door.
And the staff was great. Yep. The staff was great.
Yep. It was really good. So definitely have to go back again.
Absolutely. And have you had time to digest the hearing?
A little bit. I have not listened to it fully again. I've gone through parts. I've read through my notes a little bit, but I slept for a better part of 2 days, for the last 2 days. It was.
Oh, that's good.
It was rough, but the car was amazing. Amy says, "What model was the Audi?" I did not go to the rental. I went to Rent Enterprise, by the way. Shout out to Enterprise. They treated me great, and I was going to rent a much cheaper vehicle, and I sat in it, and my head would not fit. Even with the seat adjusted all the way down and back as far as I could, I would have to sit with my head at an angle because it was in contact with the roof. And I'm like, I cannot drive for 13 hours like this. And so I was moving up to larger and larger cars, and the first one my head did not touch the ceiling was the luxury car. And because of the size issue, they gave me a deal on it. So I ended up not having to pay the full price of the luxury car. But they gave me a deal. It was an Audi, I think Q5. Amazing. I've never driven in luxury like that before, but it made the trip very pleasant the whole way. So.
And I could see why, after meeting you, you had such an issue finding a car that your head wouldn't hit the roof.
Yep, it was a brand new car. The Q5. It had the factory sticker still in the window, like the glue from the sticker. They had just pulled it out. Had 120 miles on it, and then
it was a nice looking car.
It was, and I put 1,500 on in 2 days.
and what do you think that car actually cost?
More than I can afford. So it's one of those things. If you have to ask, you can't afford it. But it's more than I can afford.
It was sweet looking. It was really nice looking car.
Michelle says, I absolutely love my Audi Q5. They're nice cars. I'm glad I could rent it and return it. I'll say that. Because if I actually owned it, I said this a little earlier, if I owned it, I would be so nervous about it getting scratched or dinged or anything. It was very nice. So it reminds me of the time my neighbor, growing up as a kid, he had horses, and the horses got out, and so we drove to where the horses were and jumped out of his car. And I'm 16 years old, and he drives a Cadillac. Every year he gets the new Cadillac, He leases the new Cadillac. And he jumps out and he's grabbing the horses, going to walk him back. And he says, "Hey, Scott, can you drive my car back and park it?" I had never even sat in a Cadillac before. And it's like driving a cloud. It is so smooth. But it's also a very big cloud. But yeah, it was fun. Anyway, I've given it some thought. I do think the judge is going to grant the interview. I think it's going to be very limited. Mm-hmm. I think it should not be public. I believe it should be in his chambers.
I agree with you.
I think there is a 0 chance that the judge, you have to realize, in this exact same hearing that he's considering this, he also basically told the defense they don't have to turn over all their IJ stuff that he's previously ordered they have to do. There's no way he can say that out of one side of his mouth and say, "Yeah, I'm not going to make you turn over those 2 boxes. I'll let you keep the privilege stuff that you don't want to show." At the same time, he's going to say, "And I'm going to make these other two people who are not even party to the case turn over their cell phones. We can peruse their text messages." Not going to happen. 0 chance. Your cell phone is safe, Jules. So.
Well, I don't care. I really don't, because there isn't anything there. There's only 2 concerns, and I talked about this Saturday night on my own TikTok live. There's a special person that's been in my life for 4 years. Yeah. The text messages between me and him, I would have yours.
They should just be yours, and that's it. And nobody else should be seeing that.
Yeah, and so and my photos. That's the only issue I have. They want to look. Have at it. I don't care. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. But there was some discussion about. I don't remember if it was Rob who said it or if it was Kurt. And you were on there on there when you were driving home. Frenzy. Yeah. And the third party, that whole third party thing about getting her phone and my phone, it's like what are they going to do to the jury system? Seriously.
You might as well destroy the judicial system as we know it if he wants to chase down this rabbit, because it's not going to happen. There's just it is absurd. I mean, I don't use that word loosely. It is literally absurd. For them to suggest this. But Cheryl Reed says, is it possible a mistrial could happen? There's always a possibility, but for that to happen, they would have to find something egregious. First of all, they would have to find a problem. They would have to find that it caused a problem and impacted the ruling or the verdict. And basically, there's nothing there. There's nothing to find. I mean, all the information I have shows there's nothing to find. Everything we've heard from all the people who are involved shows there's nothing to find. And so they would have to see something that none of us can see for that to even be a possibility.
The IJ report. Mm-hmm. That hearing on Friday left me with a sour taste in my mouth on that, because I found it disappointing that Judge Carroll did not have the same aggressiveness when it came to the IJ report during the trial as opposed to now.
Yeah, and I wish Nick had argued that a little more forcefully. This is not them asking for more stuff, right? This is them asking for what they asked for before. For years, they've been asking for these documents. Yeah. And they didn't get them, and the judge ordered them. And if you remember that conversation, that 10-minute conversation the Judge Carroll had with Ms. Carell's, saying, "Look, I realize your other counsel isn't here, but I need you to understand. I'm very, very anything with it." He said, "Anything with a scintilla of odor that has to do with the IJ needs to be turned over. Everything needs to be turned over here. I'm ordering this, and you have to. There should be no confusion. There should be nothing not clear about this." He took 10 minutes to tell her that this is his order and it needs to be turned over. And they have to. They don't have a choice anymore. And it still wasn't. And that's what Nick was saying. He's saying, "Hey, we don't have that." And I wish you would have made that very clear to the judge, that it's like, "Judge, your order. We would like your order enforced." Are you swinging Bucky behind me? Is that what you're doing?
I mean, it's ridiculous, and I agree with you. I think Nick should have came on stronger. Also, too, with the juror 1 issue, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I don't think Elliott should have been the one arguing that pleading. I really think Greg should have been the one. Greg Anderson is great at arguing motions, and I really feel that it should have been Greg doing that when it came to juror 1, and Nick when it came to the IJ. Anything in the middle was Elliott's forte.
I don't know who prepped for what. I would have been very happy hearing Greg do some more arguments. I will say that Mr. Elliott, I think this was some of his better arguing. I wasn't impressed with some previous arguments that he did during the case. And I think he did a better job with this. But a lot of times he just assumed, I think, that the court saw things his way. So he's like, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, I'll say more. And really, I think he should have been more forceful in stating his opinion instead of just assuming the court understood where he was coming from.
Yes. I agree with you. I just don't feel that Mr. Elliott was forceful enough. That's why I feel like it should have been Greg Anderson for the juror portion. And like I said, Nick Whitney for the IJ portion and Elliott for everything, all those other pleadings, in the middle of it. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, Jules. We had Shaky Ground just says that Judge Carroll issued an order this morning regarding the IJ documents. I just pulled that up right now. There's actually 2 orders. One was an order that basically has to do with the fact that Maya had her 18th birthday. And so legally, she's going to be listed differently on all documents moving forward in the case. Her name will be spelled out instead of initials. It's just a little change there. But I do see the interim order on the IJ documents. It says near the conclusion of the trial.
I'm looking at it myself. I'm
going to read it here for everybody as we see if I can get this on camera 3. Just one second.
It's 4 pages.
Yeah, it's not bad. We'll read it here together. Just one second.
Oh, it's not bad. Well, yeah, the last pages is just who they sent it to.
Yeah. Okay, view. Okay, let me bring this up, Jules. I'll let you go. I'm going to read the whole thing to chat here, and we'll see where it stands.
Absolutely.
But good to meet you. Good to hear from you again. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful trip.
And thank you for my hoodie. And anybody, the hoodie is great quality. Oh my God, you guys, you need to definitely buy his merch. Just saying.
I'm glad you like it. It's wonderful.
I love it.
We designed it just for you, and seeing you wear that, it was awesome. So. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jules, have a good one. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we're going to do a quick read through here of this motion. And thanks, Shaky Ground, for alerting us that this is posted. But this is the judgment ruling from the judge. Okay, that just got filed today. The interim order on immediate jeopardy documents. These are the 2 boxes of documents that we're waiting on. Near the conclusion of the trial in this matter, an issue arose concerning what is being referred to as the immediate jeopardy finding associated with the accreditation entity's warning to Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital that it may lose its ability to receive federal funds. The court ordered the expedited production of documents as to the immediate jeopardy issue. J. Hatch sought reconsideration, which the court denied, and directed the immediate production of the immediate jeopardy documents. Some, but not all of the documents were produced prior to close of plaintiff's rebuttal case at the deposition of J. Hatch corporate representative deposition, but J. Hatch did not turn over the balance of those documents. The court again directed the production of those documents. I'm glad he's going through the history of this. Apparently, J. Hatch bought 2 bankers' boxes of documents to court on the afternoon of Thursday, November 9th. Nearly concurrent to their arrival, the jury announced it had a verdict. After taking the verdict, the court began the punitive damage phase of the trial. Plaintiffs report they did not have time to review those documents. And after the jury rendered its verdict in the punitive damage phase, the court discharged the jury with the consent of the parties. J. Hatch took those immediate jeopardy documents with them without turning them over to the plaintiffs. Plaintiffs still seek the documents and has filed a motion to that effect, and J. Hatch has continued to decline to turn those documents over, now contending that there is no point in the light of the jury's verdict. Plaintiffs contend that the documents remain relevant for the sanction motions as well as to dispute certain J. Hatch positions in their post-trial motions. During the post-trial motion hearing, a discussion of various sanction issues occurred. Plaintiffs reported that J. Hatch recently delivered a privileged log of the immediate jeopardy documents. J. Hatch again objected to producing the documents, but did offer to turn over what it contends are the non-privileged documents under the existing confidentiality order. J. Hatch requested a hearing or review by the court of the documents it claims to be privileged. It's therefore ordered that the defendant, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, shall preserve and maintain the immediate jeopardy documents. This includes preserving them through all future proceedings in this case, whether that is a new trial or entry of judgment without a new trial, some or some other path, as well as through any appellate proceeding or review proceeding until final resolution of this case through any proceeding in whatever court. They cannot throw this away. They have to keep them. 2. Defendant Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital shall immediately produce to the plaintiffs under the existing confidentiality order the immediate jeopardy documents to which Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital does not assert specific privilege. So they're going to turn over everything that's not privileged. This is the second part, number 2. So this is like 2.1, I guess. Plaintiffs may review the J. Hatch privilege log and identify for the court the specific documents it contends that it needs for the various sanction issues or post-trial motions. Plaintiffs shall provide that list together with a privilege log to the court chambers with a copy to J. Hatch. The court thereafter will then determine how to proceed, which may include an in-camera inspection, meaning the judge might be in the middle of this. The plaintiff's motion to request for sanctions on this issue remains pending, done and ordered in Sarasota County, Florida. Okay, so the sanctions on this is basically the punishments that, and these are all the people that were served. The punishment that the J. Hatch side can be hit with for not turning this over. Every time they say no, every time they drag their feet, any delay they cause, that the punishment could be that they have to pay some of the plaintiff's legal bills in fighting for these. And it could be other things as well. But they're asserting there's some sort of privilege there and that they don't or shouldn't have to produce some of that. All right. With that said, is there anything else we need to go over about the Maya trial? Any questions you have for me? Anything that we can discuss that before we begin looking towards this new case? And I think we're going to do the Nathaniel Rowland is going to be the one. But those docs have been tampered with at this point. I don't think so. I think they're good, Midge. What if Judge Carroll's wife put her foot down and told Judge Carroll to remember his former rulings? I like that he remembered them, even though that wasn't talked about very clearly. It wasn't expounded on in court. It was mentioned, but I like that he listed the whole chain of events that led to this point. That makes me think that there would, at some point, that there definitely be sanctions, for sure. I think we are doing the fake Uber driver trial. Let's see. What I'm saying is that, and I realize Nick Whitney sort of, it seemed like he rolled over on this one and said, okay, that's fine. We don't object to that. But I think they've got enough out that if there was another trial or if there is another case that's involved, that they would be able to subpoena and get that IJ, the original IJ. Do you get a sense of how the plaintiffs felt the hearing went? Peter, I think they initially they were more optimistic that the judge would express a desire to get that judgment entered. I don't think the judge saw that same urgency that the plaintiffs hoped he would see. But they want the judgment entered, obviously, so that the interest can start accruing, because that interest is going to drive that not the settlement, but it will drive the payment. Let's see. Judy says, Recovery Addict asked a question about the juror number 1 and the alleged SS. That was a funny, Judy. That was a funny thing to listen to in court. The SS when Mr. Elliott brought out the Kiss record, the LP. That was really funny to see that happen in real life. And then he turns around and showed it to the defense, and it was good. But Yeah, I don't think that's really going to play a factor. I don't think it will even be a factor in the interview. I don't think it matters because really it's like, and then what? What are you saying? You know, are you saying you formed an opinion of a witness during the trial? Because the judge, I mean, there's all those evidences that he was still forming his opinion about this witness at many different points throughout the trial, and still trying to understand her role and with the hospital and everything. So I just don't see that even entering the, if there is a juror interview, I don't even see that being brought up. Judge has not ruled about the jury interview. We expect that probably in the next 2 days. I need to watch the doc. I have not done it. Just when I have time, I might. Let's see. About the rideshare trial, I saw it on Court TV, but I'm sure I missed a lot. It's sort of the J. Hatch lawyer's job to still not get it, to be fair. They went the way of some of the phones. The missing phones, oh my goodness. Michelle's Mixed Media Madness says, does anyone know what the word privilege means in this legal situation? Imagine if you sued KFC and you said as part of your lawsuit they need to turn over their secret recipe for their chicken. That might be privileged information, right? That's confidential, privileged information. They don't just turn out, they can't just, give you a list of all their secret spices and ingredients. It also might be communications that happen between the client and their lawyers, which would be privileged for that reason. Let's see. Judy says, my question is the alleged SS. What's it supposed to show? An opinion? That's my question. Thank you for clarification. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the judge, I think the judge looked at that and just rolled his eyes and said, really? In his head. I mean, he listened to the arguments, but I don't think anything, resonated with the judge. I'm like, yeah, we have a problem here. All right. Here's what we're going to do. Let's do this. It is 11:11. I know it's a little bit early. Let's do a quick break, and then we'll restart with opening statements from the Nathaniel Rowland trial from day one. Now, I realize I think it's a 6-day trial. It's about a week-long trial. We're going to try to fit all this into the lead up to Christmas, and get and fill that gap, because there's not going to be a lot happening in the courts right there. KFC gravy is elite. I want that recipe. BG says the best part was when Shapiro said he found out from someone. Yes, someone on Reddit. Someone on Reddit told us. Honestly, on Reddit there were postings, there were pictures of, hey, we're dropping off invitations for the protest at the hospital to all the nurses stations at the hospital. 2 people showed up. 2 people. It was a no-show. And I don't think they even informed the press, because I didn't see the press even going out to film them at all. Does breaking mean news stream? Grassfolk, yes, it does. That way it'll be easy for those who are tracking things. We can attach this one to, say, the Maya trial, because we covered a lot of discussion on that, and the next one will have its own playlist that we're on. Okay. Was so glad Shapiro's wife was mentioned. Laura, yes. Shapiro's wife was mentioned early on in this trial because of her Facebook posts and on the Take Care of Maya Facebook group, I think it was. I honestly, I don't think we should go into his wife's stuff. I don't think there's anything there. It's not. He's not under the same order that the jurors are under. They weren't under a gag order on this case. So I don't know. Lindsay says, this trial is tough, just a heads up, but Newman's statements to Roland and his mother, who's still defending him, are some of Newman's best work. He says he needs an exorcism. Lindsay, tell me, when you say tough, I realize it's a murder trial, and And let me say, as we're going to go into a couple gory facts, okay? There were so many stab wounds that they could not count how many there were total, okay? There are some rough facts on this, on the murder. And the body was treated so badly in that manner that the amount of blood left in the body was very, very low, very little left. So there's tough stuff in there. I'm hoping that that we don't have any issues with something being shown on the screen, because I have not proofed that yet. Some crime scene photos are shown during the trial. I watched it when I was live. All right, we will. I'll try to pre-watch things and screen things a little bit. Happenings, watching from Recovery Room after a heart procedure. I'm glad we can help you recover a little bit. Thanks for being here very much. Hope you make a very quick recovery. Rosten Plassen, hello from Norway. I wish I could say something in Norwegian other than that I don't speak Norwegian. But jeg kan ikke snakke norsk. That's all I know. Okay. Still cover Ruby's case. I have not. I can't cover Ruby's case unless I have a court order that shows me that I can.
Taking it easy.
Let's see. And what I've got here shows. I don't know who sent this to me, but Utah State Courts court calendar detail. Court proceedings, including electronic proceedings, may not be recorded, photographed, or transmitted to other devices. A failure to comply with this prohibition may be treated as contempt of court, punishable by fine or time in jail. So I don't think we'll be able to transmit that. Can't broadcast the WebEx. Holly Mack, I need to sing a birthday song just for Holly Mack. She says, I waited 6 months for you to sing happy birthday to me on Friday, and as my birthday was Saturday, and you were in court on Friday, I was crushed. Holly, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I will sing happy birthday to you at another time. I can do it to end the live stream here if you'd like, and then we're going to begin with. If you give me a little bit, I'll take an early lunch, and we're going to pick up on this Nathaniel Rowland opening statements case. Is Farag still on the lam? Let me look. Where's Mr. Farag? Here's. Yep, he's not in custody, so. Yes, the fake driver was charged with other crimes, specifically to property he was in possession of and tried to sell. I think it was like a PS4 that belonged to a woman who was I don't know, kidnapped and robbed. Yeah, I'm not gonna go to jail for sure, especially in a state where I'm going to be returning and trying to serve as media in other cases. Waited all year for your birthday song Friday, and you were out of town. Sore throat, I am so sorry. So, Sore throat, are you also Holly Mack? Let's see. Day 2, CSI to preempt crime scene photos. Okay, Samantha Terry. So day 2 is the crime scene photos. That's when we have to have a little warning. All right, let's do this. Let's sing to Holly Mack and Sore Throat, and then we're going to take a break. Does that work? La 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 la. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Holly Mack and Sore Throat. Happy birthday to you. There you go. 6 Volt was harmonizing 2 octaves higher, as he does. No, it sounded great. Sounded really good. 6 Volt, thank you very much. Holly Mac, sore throat, thank you. Happy birthday on Friday. I'm sorry I missed it. I was down in Florida at a hearing, which was wonderful. But sorry we missed that. Everyone is singing to you in chat. Hope you had a great birthday. Appreciate you both, and hope you got free pancakes as well. All right. With that said, we're going to wrap this up. The morning live stream is going to be over. We're going to restart with hearing for the Nathaniel Rowlands trial, the opening statements, and we're going to just work our way through that. This is a trial with Judge Newman. So we're back in South Carolina. You guys sounded great, Justice Jones. Amazing. Anyway, we're gonna take a break. It's weird. I feel like lightheaded right now, so I'm gonna try to I think I haven't had enough to drink, so I'm gonna take a break, get a little food, maybe find a Mountain Dew. I don't know why I almost said marijuana. Did somebody say something in marijuana in chat that I was reading? I do not partake, just for the record. So that's weird. I'm a little foggy in the head, but all right, yeah. So we went there, but yes, Newman retired. So this is a case that has already just been decided. Okay, water, not Mountain Dew. It's already been decided. The outcome is known. The sentence has been handed down. So we're going back in time to watch this. We're doing that because there are not a lot of cases that will fill this time period here during the Christmas holidays. And so we're going to go back and watch something together and commentate on it. And I think we're going to watch it at about 1.25 speed to get through everything we want to get through in time. Hyman, RA trying to blame chat for his pot use. No pot use, 0. I think I've had a secondhand smoke high once. Nothing MJ in chat, just shirts. Thanks, Matthew. Lawyer says I've got nothing to blame it on. Anyway, that being said, I came back from his road trip as Florida man. Matthew, I was actually worried, renting a car for a quick drive to Florida and back. You'd think that would show up on the radar as, high interest for police. I did pass. I will admit that I won't tell you what state this happened in, but I ran one red light, and that was because my car, I had turned on following the vehicle ahead of me, and it was auto following, and it was a semi that was a very tall semi, and it was following fairly closely. And I think the semi ran the red light, and I went through right behind it. So there was that, and I won't tell you what state that happened in, so they can't get me. And the other thing, I did go by a speed trap. I was doing 76 and a 55, but it had just barely gone from 70 to 55, and the cop did not pull out. There were bigger fish to catch than me. So we were on the phone when you ran the light. Yes. Okay. Whoops. All right. Anyway, so we're going to come back. Give me, can we do an hour? Can we do 12:30? Does that work for everybody? It's 11:22 right now. At 12:30 Eastern time, we'll come back and we'll begin this Nathaniel Rowlands trial with opening statements, and that'll be fantastic. Thanks for this morning. Thanks to all of you. This is the most amazing community to watch true crime. So we're going to be back and starting a true crime, one of our few look backs on cases. We don't do these often. Usually we follow things that are live, but it's the holiday season and a lot of courts are taking breaks. Juries are out on breaks. If you need some legal content during the break, you know where to go. Matthew Harris Law. Thank you very much. Tonight when you go home, please talk to the people you love. Smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe to a good life again, which will be in an hour. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Because he's the guy.